I don't know how to do magical girls makeup, so I kind of just went for like weird green forest fairy. So that counts, right? Yeah. Hello everybody, my name is Kara, and today I am here with the Magical Girls book tag. This tag was originally created by Zariah Rose, and I was tagged by Jenna from Bibliofilth, so thank you, Jenna. Question number 1, magic potion, favorite drink. If we're talking alcoholic, I would probably say peach bellinis, though the danger with those is that they taste so good that they basically don't even taste like alcohol, so you just need to make sure to be like very careful and like to track how much you drink of them, because honestly it doesn't taste like you're having an alcoholic drink. This is my drink responsibly PSA. If we're talking non-alcoholic drinks, I would probably say my favorite is milk tea, which is delicious and amazing and wonderful. And if you've never had it, it's very similar, I think, to boba or like bubble tea, but there's no actual boba in it, which I don't really like boba. It's just like, it's so good. Like, I know it's kind of one of those annoying like California trends, but I kind of love it, so I don't mind that there's so many like random milk tea or bubble tea places. Number 2 is spell book. Do you keep a journal or diary? No, and actually, the few times I have tried it, it has not lasted very long. Actually, I have evidence of when I tried to start a journal and like I had 3 sentences written down, and one of the only things I actually said in it was, I hate keeping a diary. Because like I would read about people who kept journals like in books and things, and it was so interesting, but every time I tried I would just get so bored. And like even when I was little, I just did not understand the purpose of having a journal, because it's like, I already know what happened today. I don't need to write it down. Of course, there are some times when I wish that I had a record of things, because like, you know, your memory is not infallible, but yeah, no, I'm not a journal person. Number 3, pick 2 things, a magic item and a magic accessory. So this was actually by far the hardest question for me, because I don't tend to remember magical items or accessories in books. Like, I'm usually much more interested in the magic itself, especially if you don't actually need like a certain object to use it with or anything, or when I do find one that's interesting, it's just not something that sticks in my mind. But anyway, I guess these 2 are kind of both accessories, but you could argue that one is more of an object. And the first one is Morwen's Enchanted Sleeves from the Enchanted Forest Chronicles by Patricia C. Reed, because once again, I just love and admire Morwen so much, and the way that she just like, her magic is so practical. Like, that's the thing. I love how, like, even if you weren't in this magical world, even if you were in, like, our world and you just had magic objects, it would be so useful in, like, everyday life. And I love that. You could just, like, never have to worry about keeping stuff in your pockets or your purse, and you could just pull things out of your sleeves whenever you needed them. And then the other one I'm gonna go with is Mrs. Who's Glasses from A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline Miller. I don't know why I think these are so cool, but when I was trying to think of an answer for this, I kept coming back to these, and I just really love how, I don't want to say vague, but how inexplicable they are. Like, you don't really know what their powers are exactly. Even if they're like magic, or if it's like a science kind of magic thing, like why they work or how they work or what other things you could do with them, like, but I love what they're used for, and I kind of love what they, I guess, represent in a way. And I just think, like, I kind of like books sometimes where they're like, where the magic is just part of the world and it's just there and you accept it. And I know some people really hate that, but I love me some Brandon Sanderson, but I also just love some really just, well, that's the way things are. Number 4 is magic animal or companion. If you had a mythological pet, what would it be? I'm going to go with Nyla from Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I think she was described as like a panthère or leonine something. Basically, she's a giant panther, like a big cat, and she's just, I loved her so much. Like, I don't know, she wasn't in the book that much, but I really liked seeing her. She was so fun and interesting, and basically, like, she's a big cat that you can ride like a horse, and she's magic, and she sounds really cute and loyal, and it's just like, why wouldn't you want that, you know? Number 5, magic girl in disguise. A real life girl you look up to who you think could maybe, secretly, be hella magical. I have 2 answers for this. My first one is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I saw her on, I think it was on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. She was one of the guests for an episode, and at that point I knew about her, but I don't think I'd seen an interview with her or anything. And just from the few minutes she was on the screen, like, after her segment was over, I was just like, wow, I think I love her. Like, she was just so brilliant and intelligent and just beautiful and kind and interesting, and she's doing such important work both through her writing and through her other forms of activism, and I just like really look up to her and admire her. And it's really shameful that I haven't actually read any of her works yet, but I'm definitely going to remedy that soon. Like, she's for sure a magical girl. And the other person is Malala Yousafzai. She is just, I struggle to describe how incredible she is. I think a lot of people know kind of the basic outline of her story. She was a girl who stood up for the right of women to get an education, and she was targeted and shot by the Taliban, and she survived. And now she has turned that event into like this really fierce and impassioned fight on behalf of women in education. And I'm so in awe of what she has already accomplished, and she's so young, and she's just doing such amazing, incredible things, and she just seems like such a truly good person. And yeah, again, no words, but she's incredible. Number 6, most enchanting. Your favorite fictional enchanting or magical girl. Okay, so of course I couldn't pick just one, and even with the ones I picked, like, there are lots more I could talk about, but I had to go with my OG, who is of course Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter series. Ever since I was little and I was first reading these books, I have loved and connected with Hermione so much, and especially I loved how she was so brilliant. She was such an intelligent person and a hard worker, but she was also allowed to be very emotional, you know? She was allowed to have her feelings and to express them, and that was never considered weak by the narration of the book or by other characters. I just really love that there wasn't that really irritating dichotomy we get in fiction sometimes, where it's like, if you're the smart girl, then you don't have feelings, or like, you have to pick one or the other. Like, you could be emotional or you can be logical, but you can't be both. And that's just ridiculous, and I just really appreciated how that was never the case with Hermione. Another one is Tiffany Aker from the Tiffany Aker series, which is a subset of the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. I am slowly making my way through this series. I'm taking my time because I love them so much, and I don't want to rush through it too quickly, but Tiffany is so incredible. She's like basically my favorite archetype for a main character, and that is not at all the chosen one. An ordinary person who decides that they're gonna have to like stand up and do something about the problem or about the world they're living in, and like, you know, no one else is doing it, so I guess I'm gonna do it. And just by doing that, they become the hero. And I just love her strength and her stubbornness, and she's so young, but I never felt like, I don't know, like, I don't think this book talks down to its readers at all. Like, I think people of any age could enjoy this story and could connect with Tiffany, and I just really love her. And yes, she does make mistakes. In fact, the whole premise of this book, Wintersmith, is based off of Tiffany, like, not doing what she's supposed to, but she comes through in the end, and she does the right thing, even if it's difficult, and even if she doesn't really want to do it. Like, she can be selfish and frustrating, and just, I don't know, I love how complex she is, and I'm just rambling now, so shut up, Kara. But she's great. And the third one is a relatively recent favorite, and that is Circe from Circe by Madeline Miller. I have lent out my copy to a friend, so I do not have it with me, but I love her. I love the way that witchcraft and magic is used in this book, and the way that Circe really grows her craft and her skill as her character grows. And this is one of the few books I've read recently that I feel like lived up to every single bit of the hype that I had heard. Like, I heard nothing but glowing reviews, and I agree with them. And I don't want to contribute to the overhype problem, so I will just say that if you love character-focused stories with gorgeous writing and world building and like a really clear and strong atmosphere, I think you will really enjoy this one. Number 7, she's so cute. Style inspiration whose clothes would make you feel magical. Tahereh Mafi. She is a queen, and she's just so beautiful, and I love her style and her makeup and her outfit. Everything about her is always just so well put together and gorgeous, and I just love her so much. I will insert some pictures of Tahereh Mafi being beautiful and stunning and just like rocking our world. I also want to mention some of the costumes from classical ballets, generally the tutus of the main characters, because they are just so stunning. I will insert some pictures of my favorites, but those honestly look like it could be costumes for a magical girl or like a magical character, and I just think they're incredibly beautiful. Number 8 is favorite magical girl shows or movies, and number 9 is Old Spells, a nostalgic magical show. I'm gonna answer these together because there's a lot of overlap for me, and I didn't watch some of the like classic magical girl shows. Like, I did not watch Sailor Moon when I was little. I know. But some of my favorites are Sabrina the Teenage Witch, of course. Totally Spies was also another one that I loved watching. Kim Possible, because that show was a masterpiece, and I still love it with every bit of my heart. As far as movies goes, Twitches is amazing. Not the second one. The second one sucks. But the first one is so good, and I feel like it still holds up to like the feelings I had from the past. I still think it's a really good and like fun movie. Also, the Halloween Town movies. Those are amazing. And I know a lot of people hated the fourth one, which I think was called Return to Halloween Town. I know a lot of people hated it, and I am mad that they like recast things, and it was just like, it was weird. But that one always has like a special place in my heart, because at the time that movie came out and like when I was watching it, I was so in love with Lucas Grabeel. Like, it almost didn't matter what the movie was about. Like, it was, well, you know, it had magic, so I was interested. And it also had Lucas Grabeel, so I was gonna watch it and love it no matter what. Okay, everybody, so that was the Magical Girls book tag. I will tag a couple of people in the description. I will see you guys soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!